Some moments during the day, your mind feels incredibly clear. Ideas come quickly. Decisions feel easy. You understand things faster. But at other times, the opposite happens. Thinking feels slower. Your attention drifts. Even simple tasks require more effort. Most people assume this happens randomly, but it doesn't. Your brain is following a biological rhythm, and that rhythm quietly influences mental clarity throughout the day. But why would the brain allow clarity and focus to fluctuate? Wouldn't constant mental performance be more efficient? To understand this, we need to examine how the brain regulates alertness across time. Because cognitive performance depends on several biological systems working together. One of the most important of these systems is the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms are internal biological cycles that follow a roughly 24-hour pattern. They regulate sleep, hormone release, metabolism, and brain activity. At the center of this system is a small structure in the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This region acts as the brain's master clock. It receives signals from the eyes about environmental light. Using this information, it synchronizes the body's internal systems with the day-night cycle. But here's where it gets interesting. Circadian rhythms don't only influence sleep, they also regulate cognitive alertness. Throughout the day, levels of alertness naturally rise and fall. For many people, mental clarity peaks during the late morning. Attention networks are highly active. Reaction time improves. Working memory functions efficiently, and this leads to an unexpected effect. Several hours later, many people experience a natural dip in mental performance, often in the early afternoon. Attention becomes less stable. Thinking feels slower. This pattern is sometimes referred to as the circadian trough. But the brain doesn't stop there. Another biological process interacts with circadian rhythms. This involves the gradual accumulation of adenosine. Adenosine is a molecule that builds up in the brain as neurons consume energy during waking hours. The longer you stay awake, the more adenosine accumulates. As levels increase, adenosine reduces neural excitability and increases the sensation of mental fatigue. But the brain does something even more fascinating. Circadian rhythms and adenosine work together to regulate alertness. Circadian rhythms influence when the brain expects to be active. Adenosine reflects how long the brain has been working. Together, they shape the patterns of mental clarity that people experience throughout the day. From an evolutionary perspective, this system makes perfect sense. Human activity historically followed cycles of effort and recovery. Periods of focused activity were balanced with rest. The brain evolved to regulate energy carefully across the day. But modern environments sometimes disrupt these rhythms. Artificial lighting, late-night screens, irregular sleep schedules. All of these factors can shift the timing of circadian signals. When that happens, mental clarity may feel less predictable. Once you understand these biological systems, something important becomes clear. Your brain is not designed for constant, unchanging performance. It operates in cycles, periods of high clarity, periods of lower energy. These fluctuations are part of the brain's natural regulation system. By the way, if you're interested in understanding how the brain and body actually work, this channel explores the science behind those systems. Many everyday experiences become easier to understand when we examine the biology behind them, and the fluctuations in mental clarity are one of the most fascinating examples. Your brain doesn't operate like a machine, it operates like a rhythm. Vera explains the science behind how the human system works. Subscribe if you're curious about the biology of being human.